Okay, welcome back. In this video I'm going to do two things. One is to show you a bit more details about touch and goes, and because the wind is still picking up a little bit and we've got some both headwinds and crosswinds and variability in the winds. As the winds come up, we'll talk about how you handle the winds. So, airplane is ready. I'll do my last minute checks, arm the throttle and check it. And because of the winds, I'm going to use probably 100% power, so it's going to take off rather quickly. And then I'll pull the power back once I get in the air back to my normal 50% setting. So here we go. Okay, so power's back to 50%. Well, okay, the wind is blowing me around quite a bit. So the winds are probably fairly squirrely down as I get toward those trees. I'm going to do a straight through first and check out the winds at the far end of the field. So I'm going to come in a little lower, but pull the power back and leave it at 50%. And we'll see how well the aircraft flies at 50% power here as it goes into the wind. Now you can see that thing jumping all around. My hand is off the stick, okay? And it's just jumping all around out there. And you can see that the wind just sort of blew that thing around the corner. All right, so we'll try a touch and go. Trying to get precision on my downwind, precision turn. Pulling the power back to idle here, so it'll come down. Adding a bit of power because of the wind. Oops, that's the wind blowing me off. That's me reacting to what the wind was doing. Now I'm gonna aim it at the ground a little bit. Power still in. Okay, and now I'm gonna land. Okay, that's the gusty winds trying to push me around. And I hope you saw there that it was aiming toward the edge of the runway. I let it do that because I knew I was going to land fairly quickly, but I wouldn't come across. So if you have to land across the runway, one, make sure that nobody is down there, and two, that you land before you get to the edge of the runway. Edge of the runway is defined by that cone down there. So again, we're going to take off with 100% power, get airborne quickly, and get some altitude quickly because of the wind. Here we go. Okay. You have to understand how wind will weather vane the airplane. Okay, it's going to try to make the airplane be a weather vane and turn the aircraft that way. Plus it'll try to pick a wing up or push a wing down. Okay, so I'm going to land with a little bit more speed this time. So, whoa, okay, last little bit there. So that particular technique for landing in the wind was to come in a little hot, nose it down, get to the ground, and flare and land. Okay, so there's two good landings in the winds. Now we'll do some touch and goes. Now touch and goes in the wind will be a little tricky too. You got to carry some power. I may never pull it all the way to idle, we'll see. It'll depend upon what the winds are doing. So this is where reaction time is important, as you do a touch and go with a little bit of wind. Here we go. Okay, I'm going to pull it all the way to idle, get it to the ground. And immediately apply power again. So you could see that roll was only about a foot. So that's okay. You don't want to land too hot because you might bounce the aircraft. You still have to, in a touch and go, run the airspeed down to where you're just above a stall and then land it and then take off again. So here we go again. Idle power, nosing it over till it comes down. A quick little flare. Okay. And up we go again. You can see how quickly that airplane will go up at 100% power. And you probably heard the prop strike the ground too. I didn't mean it for it to do that, but that's what happens when you're flying in some winds. Practicing in winds like we have today is good. If it's over this amount of wind, if it's over 10 miles per hour steady, then I probably wouldn't be flying this. The problem with flying such a light airplane in winds is that the winds can overpower this airplane and you're not sure what it might do. Okay, that's a little bit better touch and go. I'm going to do a fairly short field here, quick turn here. I'll do a quick turn after I pass the runway threshold there and just do a turn right into landing. So you can do touch and goes fairly quickly. I'm forcing the nose down a little bit. Okay. If I had a different radio and I had both low, medium, and high rates, I'd probably be on medium rates to do these landings. And you'll see that later when I switch to a different radio that I can program low, medium, and high rates. 70% is the low rate on this, and I would rather it be 80 to 90% rates. Okay, carried a bit of power all the way to landing on that one. And we'll go again. %50 power, leaving it 50% power. All right, now 30% power. And now